Hello everyone, it's another exciting episode of Keep It Simple on Gov TV. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Agro-Allied Industry and Rookie Akobari is with me here on set today. Hi Rookie.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, very well. Good to have you, as usual. Anyways.
Thank you. Well, I'm just here, Jerry. The rain has been falling like seriously, and I'm sure there are lots of people. Actually, there was a day the rain was falling, and I was like, oh please, the rain should not fall. And there was one man coming behind. He was like, please, I'm a farmer. I need the rain to fall.
Yeah. Yeah, in the season, so we should just brace up for what is to come. Floods, more traffic.
And also more crops too.
More crops, yeah.
For people that are farming.
Talking about crops, we have a lot outlined for today as regards that, but let's just keep that aside. I want to just quickly reflect on the act of gratitude, because something that happened recently and that really made me reflect that you know what, you don't take the gift of life for granted. You never can tell what will happen in the next minute. So as little as, oh, you're fine, like you don't have any sickness or any ailments, you're okay medically, it's not to be taken for granted. Over the weekend, my sister, we were home together and she was fine, like we were just chilled and all. And on that day, on Saturday, before evening, she developed cold, and by midnight she was already, like, she was just a total mess. Wow. We actually visited the hospital on Sunday, and what happened? They just said that it's malaria, but I'm just looking at the quick progression of how things can deteriorate within the shortest possible time. By Sunday evening, she was okay again. I'm like, so between Saturday evening up to Sunday evening, what happened? I don't know what just messes up our system, and she had to be attended to medically. But then it just made me reflect that, you know what, just take care of yourself and be grateful for every opportunity you have to live, because people do not have it as a luxury.
Actually. Actually, I think that's really profound. There was a time for a year, I was always visiting the hospital for something. I had to undergo some kind of thing, so I had to go to the hospital almost every month in the year, and it wasn't really nice for me. I mean, going to the hospital and seeing lots and lots of people. They don't lack customers. Hospitals, they don't look for. I'm telling you, people are always there, and I'm like, wow, thank God for life. If you can breathe, you can use your hand, your leg, you are okay. And you can still also just thank God, because it's not easy to visit the hospital
or to be on the sick bed. Actually, well, we'll go on a break. When we'll come back, we have a very interesting episode that would be unfolding. You don't want to miss it, right? Please stick around. We'll be right back. welcome back from the break. If you're just tuning in, this is Keep It Simple on GovTV. And on this episode, we'll be looking at opportunities in agro-allied industries. Joining us on set today is an engineer with over 35 years experience in oil and gas sector. He's passionate about leadership, youth empowerment, entrepreneurship, and agriculture. He currently runs an agro-allied company, in fact, 2 agro-allied companies called FEMAPAD and Pickle Foods. His vision to contribute to meeting the nutritional needs of the society and ensuring food security is what led him to this pursuit. Welcome with me, Engr Olukayode Olaitan. Good to have you on set today, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank
to
you.
the
It's
show,
actually
sir.
an honor to be with you.
And this is the first time gracing our set, right? We had him about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
For people that are following, they've been following us for a long time now.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he has been here before, and I told him offset that he actually looks younger.
He never gets old. Good to have
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Yeah.
All right. So we're looking at the opportunities that there are in agro-allied industry. So first, let's establish what is agro-allied industry for people that do not know.
All right. Actually, when you say agro-allied industry, you may actually want to talk about agribusiness in general.
Okay.
Agribusiness is very vast. It's everything that has to do from the beginning of what goes into agriculture to the end of what comes out of agriculture. Agribusiness includes those inputs into agriculture, things like seeds for planting. There are some people who specialize in production of seeds. Mm-hmm. There are services that precede planting, such as land preparation or even construction of pens for the animal husbandry. Yeah. Those are also part of agribusiness. You also have those who actually produce the crops themselves, the crop production, the animal production, animal husbandry. Those are also aspects of agribusiness.
Okay.
On the, let me call it the downstream side, okay, we now have the aggregators, those who buy the produce or the outputs of the farms, who add value to them, who process them into other goods, products, and those who also provide services along that line. The logistics, mm-hmm, the packaging producers, oh, wow, the marketers, down to the exporter and even the retailer. They are all in that vast agribusiness value chain.
It's a long chain, actually.
Indeed.
But if I may ask, what particular aspect of the agribusiness are you into, and how long have you been into it?
Okay, we started with the crop production segment of agribusiness, but we've over time expanded into some other services related services. I beg your pardon. Crop production, we started with looking at the long-term production of citrus fruits.
Okay.
Oranges, tangelo, tangerine, and the likes. We also produce medium-term crops like cassava, like maize, but we have also added some land preparation services to our package. And our other company is actually now starting the processing and packaging. So we are trying to grow the sphere of the participation.
All right, so your bio says that you are an engineer, right?
Yes.
So why did you go into agriculture? Because I think there are people watching us and probably they are bankers or something. They never did anything agri. They're like, okay, why?
Exactly.
Can you tell us why you went into agriculture?
Indeed, it's an interesting question. I always love to hear that question. And it's simply because for some years, it's more than 20 years before I actually started that I caught the vision. I made a visit to a place called Songhai Farms in Benin Republic, a popular, integrated farm. And the vision just clicked. That was way back in 1990s. I never lost the vision, even though I was professionally practicing my engineering. But shortly before I retired from engineering practice, I just kicked off because I knew the time was almost running out. And it's good for anyone to have a passion and not lose that passion and not lose the vision as well. Today, we know that one industry that will always be in demand is agriculture. We will always have to eat.
Exactly.
Thank you.
It's important. All right, so I think that we should discuss things that are actually affecting us as Nigerians as regards agriculture.
Yes.
So recently we celebrated the June 12th, and there were a lot of agitations concerning food prices and the rest. So how has the inflation affected the agriculture business? Has it affected the crop production? How has it affected, and what's the attraction? What can actually attract people more despite what's happening in Nigeria?
Regardless of the current constraints, which I will mention, I just want people to recognize and understand that there are constant opportunities in agribusiness. Yes, indeed, the agribusiness is affected by, beginning from COVID-19 last year, when we could not get our produce to the market because movement was restricted. Sometimes the markets only open twice a week. We have perishable goods which could not stay that long. It could have been discouraging, but we saw beyond the immediate moment. People need to recognize that regardless of what the current situation is, I said earlier that we will always eat, and we need to really consciously make efforts to prevent famine in Nigeria. So for that reason, we bear the odds, we forge ahead, and a lot of other farmers are doing likewise. The cost of things, the escalating cost, the inflation is affecting us as well. Our service providers have had to up their prices. For us to rent land clearing equipment, the prices have gone up. Our inputs that we used to buy at a certain price have added on top of that. So everything that goes into agriculture, into crop production, has gone up in price. I could recall on our poultry segment, when we started poultry segment about 3 years ago, we were buying a bag of feed for like a little over 2,000 naira. Today, the same bag of feed, it costs over 5,000 naira.
Wow.
So we can see where all this comes from. And it's also a ripple effect of the cost of the input into the animal feeds, mainly maize and soybean and other things, which prices also have gone up due to prevailing situations.
So aside from inflation and the outbreak of the pandemic that obviously affected agribusinesses, I think one thing for sure that we should also state is the insecurity challenge in Nigeria. So I want to know how that has affected you as business owner and every other person that is into the business.
The state of insecurity is really a big problem and a source of major concern to agriculturists, to farmers especially, to crop producers. In that, for instance, about 3 years ago, 2018, about 24 acres of maize was grazed down to the ground by cattle.
Owned by?
By the herdsmen. It was grazed down to nothing.
Where did that happen?
It happened around Igongon area.
Wow.
Yes. We reported to the police, and unfortunately, nothing actually came out of it. We had to lick our wounds and move on. In recent times, the spate of those, incidents have not totally declined.
At all.
They've not
it's
really
been on
declined.
The increase.
It's becoming a bit more daunting. Nonetheless, we also are developing ways of managing the situation, but we just hope that those who have the authority and the powers will actually do the needful. But there isn't sufficient evidence of that at various levels. At the state government level, at the national level, it's not enough.
Local government.
All right, so we know that there's insecurity, the herdsmen and all that, kidnappers here and there, but what is your own contribution to securing your own property? Is there something that farmers can do, agriculturists can do? Can they rent probably private security men or something?
We actually do that. We engage the vigilante They are recognized organizations. We engage vigilante guards, like 2, 3, 5 of them, depending on the size of our farms. And we pay them by ourselves. I mean, they use their dang gun that they are authorized to carry.
They can use
it scares some of those intruding cattle herders. It scares them off. Sometimes we even had opportunity of arresting a few of their cows.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes, which brought the intruders to kind of come to talk.
Okay.
So farmers also need to insure their farms.
Very important.
We take on agricultural insurance. We know that the insurance company will expect farmers to do due diligence to prevent losses, but there's so much we can do. So first of all, to engage private security is something we do, and to also ensure that we secure our crops.
Okay.
That's
By
very
insurance.
profound. That's profound. All right, so let's go ahead to enumerate the opportunities that are there in agribusiness for people that are really, eager to test the waters and see what this is all about.
Right. Generally, when people hear about agriculture, people do not know enough to recognize that agriculture is just a little portion of agribusiness or the agro-allied industry. There are opportunities for those who are knowledgeable about production of seedlings, seeds and seedlings, which are inputs into the agribusiness, into agriculture. We also utilize things like fertilizers. Some people can actually market source fertilizer and sell to the farmers.
Okay.
We have agrochemicals, which we require for pest control, for weed control, for crop protection, for even animal protection, like vaccines for poultry and other animal husbandry. So there are those aspects are there. People can actually go into those aspects. They are part of agribusiness. They can provide those things for the farmers, and they can play in that segment of the value chain. There are also production of crops, and there are long-term crops, there are medium-term crops, and there are short-term crops. So the opportunities are vast. Even if you have just one plot of land, you can grow vegetables. In 1 month, you are harvesting vegetables. You don't need to wait forever. And these days, a lot of people are innovating. People can plant yam in sacks loaded with, enriched soil. And some say they planted thousands of sacks of yam. It's possible. So there are opportunities to produce crops. There are opportunities for even animal husbandry, poultry, even the simple local fowl. If someone rears that local fowl, they are very prolific. They lay 10 eggs, they hatch 9. And in a short time, you take those ones away, it lays again.
Small.
Before you know it, in 1 year, you have hundreds of chickens. So there are actually opportunities.
Make it sound so easy.
It's just said and done, right?
Yeah.
There are risks involved in those things, quite all right.
Every
So
business carries risks, ladies. Every business carries risks.
All right.
And we just have to manage risks. Yes, I agree with you.
I think, okay, sorry to cut you short. I think that we should talk about the kind of information of where people can actually learn to do these things. I mean, especially if you're not into it. I remember when you talked about planting vegetables, there was this relative of mine. She wanted to go into exporting vegetables, like the dried one. We'll pack it and they'll export outside. So she is the one that had the business idea. She was actually communicating with someone outside. So she went to the village and she told some other people that, oh, you guys should plant ugu and the rest. And these guys, they are not into the business before. They bought the seeds, they planted lots of ugus and the rest. And when it was time for them to export, she was nowhere to be found. She didn't even know what to do, how to package it. And those people ran into debt, lots of debts, because there was no information. Like, how do you get the information? What do you do? Where do you go to? Who are the resource persons that people can actually go to and get information from if they want to go into agribusiness?
We should not take for granted the various agricultural research institutions that we have. We have attended a number of seminars, workshops organized by organizations like International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, NIHOT, Nigerian Institute for Horticultural Research and Training, and the likes. In such places, they have training programs on different types of crops. And one can go there for short-term or probably some weekend trainings, and also importantly, do some kind of pupillage, apprenticeship under those who are currently practicing.
Right.
There's a difference between theory and the actual practice in the field. For instance, on our farm, we do encourage students to come and do their farm attachment with us. In fact, presently we have 3 students from various universities.
Wow.
Yes. And we put them through the practical agriculture. They learn the theory in the university, but there's a vast difference between theory and practice.
Practical.
Before people will go into any kind of business, they need to learn about it. They need to put together simple business plans. It does not need a scientific consultant to do that. Just get some basics, put something down, be sure you understand your market, you understand your competition, you understand your sources, and the regulations that surround the business you want to do. Like the example you gave, when we want to export certain crops overseas, you need to know what are the international standards applicable to that country, what are the tolerance level of residual agrochemicals that are accepted in such countries. Because it's not everything that is shipped abroad that is organic. There are inorganic production, but there's a threshold of the residual content of agrochemicals that can be tolerated. So one needs to find out all that and ensure that one is compliant. So there are a few things to do. And more also, again, I repeat, try to relate with those who are in the business.
That's quite profound. Thank you so much for that, sir. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we're going to be wrapping up on this conversation. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. You're welcome back from the break. We're still discussing the opportunities in agro-allied businesses, and of course we still have our guest with us, Engr Olaitan Olukayode. So, sir, I would love you to talk about the government, like their own responsibilities to regularizing the hikes of food, the food prices in the market, and all. What role do they have to play in that?
Actually, I must give it to the government, both federal and state, that they are taking some very bold steps in promoting the production of some essential crops and some aspect of animal husbandry that's important to the economy. They run this program by the central bank called the Anchor Borrower Program.
Okay.
And it's actually a program that is targeted mainly at smallholder farmers and the younger people, which enables them to own an hectare of farmland for some crops of interest.
Yeah.
Crops like maize, rice, cassava, and even some animals are treated similarly. So the government is actually promoting that. They are making the opportunities available for smallholder farmers to obtain loans in kind from government. Yes. Previous experiences where they've given cash to people just disappear with it and squander it, but they make the loan available in kind. They provide tractorization, land clearing services, land preparation services. They provide the seed, they provide the fertilizers, they provide the agrochemicals, and some of the implements the farmer needs. And then the farmer will now contribute his own equity, participation, and make some little financial commitment.
Okay.
So government is doing that to boost production. Of course, the law of demand and supply will come into play. By the time we're able to produce more, prices will generally come down.
Okay.
I give that to the government.
All right, so do you think that Nigeria agro-allied system will be able to fend for the whole nation without us looking to importing other things? Yeah, there are some things we don't produce in Nigeria, but do you think that we are ready to, or should we give like in the next 10, 15 years to come? Do you think that now Nigerian agriculture has what it takes, to fend for everybody in Nigeria?
I will not say that we have everything it takes right now, but we must not always look at the short term. We must have long, medium, and short-term plans. Currently, last year, government banned importation of maize, for instance. It promoted production of maize in the country. It got a lot of people interested. Ourselves, my farm, we increased the land, the footprint where we planted, we're planting maize now. Other farmers are doing likewise. Same thing goes for cassava production. We're in partnership with IITA for a cassava seed multiplication program, whereby we planted 10 hectares of the enhanced seed, which will enable us to expand to grow, to develop another 200 hectares next year. So the government actually is helping and promoting these things. We do not have enough, but we can get there in the short term. We don't need to wait till the long term. We can get there in the short term.
All right, so you mentioned the Anchor Bora program.
Yes.
And the fact that your company is also in partnership with the government on it.
Yes.
So for people that would love to, participate or, take advantage of this opportunity, how do you think they should go about it? Okay,
we are part of the Maize Association of Nigeria participating on the Anchor Bora program. We have a cluster, and in fact, we're in the process of growing our cluster to close to 200 hectares for maize production. And we are providing, offering opportunities, especially to young people, to give them an opportunity to experience it, and not just to experience it, to make their own money, because they will be the smallholder farmers. They will be the smallholder farmers. Individually, they will have access to 1 hectare of farmland.
1 hectare?
1 hectare. That's 2.5 acres. Wow. Yes. It's not just for 1 year. It's a lease that will span a number of years. And they will be able to benefit from that loan in kind from the CBN on the Anchor Bora program. And gradually, their interest will be built up. Their knowledge about agribusiness will grow, especially in maize production, in maize marketing, even in maize processing. They can later continue to produce, or they can venture into other value addition aspects. So those who may want to join us can come to our website, www.peakofffood. This is peakofng.com. Let me repeat, www.peakofng.com. On the platform there, they will see the guidelines. They can contact us, obtain information. It's not compulsory that they participate with us, but they can learn from us. They can learn from us.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing.
Right.
Thank you for gracing our sets. And we hope that when next we call on you, you would...
I'll be delighted. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here.
To our viewers, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you're able to pick a thing or two from this episode. And if you would like to, get in contact with the scheme, you can as well, drop a message, leave a message in the comment section. We would definitely reply you. That's all we can take on this episode. Thank you so much. Join us again, same time, some other time, right?
Yeah.
On this.